Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of EOTSN live streams, our first one of the year, featuring the Roseville Tigers and the Ponderosa Bruins. Dom, we finally got our live streams going.
Yes, finally did.
What are you feeling right now?
I'm very excited that we will be able to bring this production to you. We've been working extremely hard to get this up and running, and we apologize that it's come so late in the season. However, we are prepared to bring you the rest of the coverage of this game. So far, it is 6-0 Ponderosa, as Ponderosa took the opening kickoff, which was fumbled by Roseville, and had the ball right about the 10-yard line. And Ponderosa, a few plays later, was able to run it in on a corner jet screen. And Roseville will take the kickoff, their second attempt at running back a kick, their first offensive series of the night. As I previously stated, they had fumbled the opening kickoff, and Ponderosa recovered it at the 10-yard line and was able to capitalize that. Although they did not get the extra point due to a penalty, they were moved back 5 yards and did not have enough faith in their kicker, so they opted to go for a 2-point conversion, and they were stopped.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot this year where Roseville's muffed it on the offense. They have a hard time controlling the ball, and it's something that they've tried to work on all season.
And we will see a wide receiver jet screen that is fumbled yet again. So Roseville's only been on the field for 3 plays on the offense and special teams, and 2 out of those 3, they've fumbled the ball. Their first offensive play of the game, they fumble the ball again. Roseville already with 2 turnovers, and we're not even 2 minutes into the game yet.
Yeah, that's just not good offense right there. That's really bad offense, and it's just it shows how weak your offense is, for that matter.
No, it just shows the lack of focus, and you would think that on a senior night, seniors want to showcase their talent and their skills, and just play an all-out great game at their last game on their home field for their entire high school career. But so far, it's just not looking like that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dom. I agree 100%. It's not looking like the Roseville team that we had last year. This whole team this year has been struggling to find the pieces, to make something work.
Yes, it's been a long year. Roseville sitting second to the bottom in the CVC currently, with a 1-7 record, and just barely beating out Bella Vista 2 weeks ago for their only win of the season. And so we will see Ponderosa, the ball again in the red zone, and that's number 34 for Ponderosa, straight up the middle. Another Ponderosa touchdown. 9:29 left in the first quarter. Already Ponderosa off to a very hot start.
I don't think they scored right there. I think they're on the 1-yard line.
Did they not? Oh. I thought he just barely inched it in.
I think they're on the 1-yard line.
It looks like his knee was down just before the ball crossed the plane. And yes, it looks like they will be on the 1-yard line.
3rd and goal.
It's 3rd and 1. Ball handed off. That's a touchdown. Lots of line movement straight up the middle, just forcing that Roseville defensive front all the way back into the end zone. And that puts Ponderosa's total at 12 points currently.
Yeah,
and we'll see whether or not they will try for a 2-point to try and make that a perfect 14 points, or will opt to kick again.
Yeah, Roseville just isn't. They're not there mentally tonight, and I don't think they've been there mentally all season. It's either they're not there, or Roseville just didn't put out a very good team this year.
And that 2-point conversion is good. Quarterback drop back, they faked it to the running back, and they threw a corner end zone fade pass. Good for 2. That puts it at 14-0. 9 minutes left in the first quarter.
We apologize once again for the scoreboard. The time clock isn't working right now. We're figuring that out as we speak. We'll have it for you during basketball season, which we'll bring to you every home game.
And that was Henderson, the junior quarterback for Ponderosa, with that two-point conversion pass. Pass to, it looks to be the tight end. And so far, Cheney, the junior running back, with both of the scores.
Ball taken out to the 31-yard.
And finally, Roseville able to successfully return that ball without either getting stopped very short after picking it up or fumbling. And so Roseville will come out for their second offensive attempt at a drive. And we'll see if they've got their focus together. The huddle is broken. Alves under center. Evans in the backfield.
Dom, it looks like it's going to be a pass play.
And a false start. Just a series of unfortunate events for this Roseville offense. They have not been able to get a clean playoff.
No,
it's been one mistake after the other.
Let alone get one playoff.
Yep. And so that'll push them back 5 yards. 1st and 15 from the 27-yard line. Alves under center. Motion back. Handoff to Evans. Evans
trips up
off of the left side, and he is tripped up. That'll be good for maybe a yard.
Alex Devin.
The huddle broken. Alves in the pistol. The snap. Ooh, and
hard hit,
that direct handoff to the wide receiver on the motion, and that gets blown up right away. That was Ponderosa's number 32, one of their linebackers. And they'll break the huddle.
We'll see.
4 wide receivers out.
Dom, I bet we see Alves make a pass here.
I think we do. And
it'll be short.
It is short. It is caught.
It'll be about 4th and 2.
That's number 8, C.K. Catilis. About
4th and 2.
9-yard gain. That'll be 4th and 2. And the Tigers will decide to punt it away. And that's a good punt. That goes for about 40 yards. And it will be downed at the 20-yard line. So Ponderosa will take over from the 19-yard line with 7 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first quarter. 1st and 10, Bruins. You know, Kel, coming into this game, we thought that this would definitely be a matchup that Roseville could definitely stay competitive in.
Yeah,
Ponderosa, after all, only having 3 wins and 5 losses on the season.
Yeah, I definitely agreed. I mean,
that's a run.
This Tigers team as a whole has struggled this season to really just put up the numbers and put up wins. Part of it's the coaching staff, but part of it's the players as well. I mean, look at the team last year compared to this year. Last year, the Tigers had Jariah Crawley, Josh Clark. They had Nick Mardig, who was a pretty good quarterback. He could throw, he could run. He's very mobile. Their cornerbacks in their backfield on defense was phenomenal. I mean, it was really good with Jason Russell on
Right.
the corner. I mean, when you lose all those guys, I mean, a lot of those juniors, now seniors this year, didn't play a whole lot last year.
Right.
So they've had
Definitely.
to incorporate those seniors, now seniors, into the starting jobs, and it's just been really rough for them.
Definitely. And you can see how many seniors are again in the ranks this year. As last year there were 20, maybe 21 senior starters and maybe 1 or 2 juniors at any given time on the field.
Yeah.
And that run was by Henderson, Ponderosa's quarterback, number 34. And he threw it. And that will move the chains. That was about a 13, 14-yard throw.
This Pondo quarterback has seemed very, very good in the first couple of minutes. In the first quarter, he's looking really, really good. And if I was the Tigers, I'd be looking to blitz every once in a while, maybe on first down or.
And the Tigers front four blow that play up. That'll be no game.
The Tigers on that line need to bring the pressure all night long if they want to have a chance of containing this Ponderosa offense.
Absolutely. And even though the score is 14-0, Ponderosa leading, it doesn't help when you have the ball inside the 20-yard line 2 drives in a row. So hopefully the defense can put together a stop here. And Ethan Gregory coming off the edge and punishing the quarterback. Although he got the ball out, he did make a solid hit.
Yeah, he did. And that's what the Tigers need to do. They need to get those outside linemen. They need to get them around the offensive line into that quarterback. They need to put pressure on this quarterback all night.
And correction, that was not Ethan Gregory. Although whoever was running did look extremely tall, but that was Chase Baker. Chase Baker applying the pressure. And it will be 3rd and 11 from the 44-yard line. 5 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Timeout. Ponderosa.
And Ponderosa will take a timeout, their first of the half. And you know, Cale, the other part of this Roseville team this year has been the extensive amount of injuries that they've had on both sides of the ball. I mean, they've lost multiple offensive linemen, starting safety, running back Nick Gorey.
Two quarterbacks.
Yes, 2 quarterbacks at 2 different times during the season. Their second-string quarterback, Alex Nicholas, was ruled out with a head injury about halfway through the season. And the same for Nick Gorey, Roseville's co-starting running back. And that's a lot of offensive power that was just taken out of their system.
Yeah, and Jackson Esparza, their tight end, their best tight end is out for the rest of the season with is it a knee injury or an ankle injury?
Yeah, something to do with the knee. Definitely, he's been in a cast for weeks now.
Yeah, he's done for the season. Huge blow to the offense.
Yeah, that was one of their main targets at the tight end and receiver's position. Also a great blocker.
Yes, fantastic blocker.
Yes. And it's 3rd and 11. The snap to Henderson. Henderson winds back, throws a deep bomb, and that is caught just over the head of the defensive back. And that bomb go for about a 55-yard touchdown pass. And already a very ugly score. Only 10 minutes into the 7 minutes in to the first quarter.
Yeah. Well, Dom, I think we're in for a long, long night tonight.
However, stranger things have happened.
These Bruins are showing no mercy.
We'll see how Roseville responds. 21 points in a matter of 7 minutes is hard to get out of the mind. And again, that was a 3rd and 11.
Going for 2.
They are going for 2. they'll try to just rub it in the face of Roseville, but Roseville gets a stop. And Henderson just overthrows his target. And they will not get a 2-point conversion, so it'll be 20-0 Ponderosa. 4:58 remaining in the first quarter. And the Tigers will get the ball back.
It's looking really grim for the Tigers right now. The Tigers need to convert on offense. Those first down plays are the most important plays of that drive. The first play of the drive, Dom, and I'm sure you know this from football, is probably the most important play of the drive. It's going to set the tone for your offense for that drive. It's going to determine whether or not you're going to move down the field at a reasonable pace. And it's just super important that they get at least 4 or 5 yards on each of those first down plays.
Definitely, and not gaining any yards at all, or even 2 or 3 on the first down is hard for your drive, because that changes what plays you run for the second and third downs and what the likeliness of converting to get that first down.
I mean, if I was the Tigers, I would try to move up the field as fast as possible at this point, because you're already down 20-0. I mean, if I was them, if we've learned anything this season, it's hand the ball off to Alex Evans.
That's exactly right. And Alex Evans, just a few weeks ago, having his performance of the week, earning game against Bella Vista.
I mean,
300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And 4 touchdowns. I mean, that's crazy. That's insane.
And it looks like we'll see it right here. However, it looks like it was a handoff to Evans, but it was a fake. And it was a quarterback run. That was good enough for about 5. And so the refs having a meeting with Roseville's coach Cunha over on the side. They run back. It's unclear what they're communicating about. Looks like there was a penalty of some sort.
Looks like we had an inverted whistle blowing the play dead.
Or not a penalty, but as they've just announced, it was some sort of whistle that blew the play dead.
Inverted whistle.
That's strange. I've never heard that one before.
Well, I mean, these Roseville fans have. I mean, Dom, you remember in that Bella Vista game, their fans blowing whistles from the stands.
Oh, that is true. It could have been a fan interference. So they'll replay it, and I was going to say the most productive play so far from the Roseville offense is taken off the board. However, that run by Alex Evans might have outdone that. And that's good for about 5 yards.
It'll be about 2nd and 5 here. If I was the Tigers, I'd hand it off to Alex Evans as many times as possible.
Alex Evans to the left or right. And if you can't clear anything, then don't run it up the middle. But if you can, definitely. Alex Evans is extremely explosive.
Oh, yeah. He'll have those.
And here we go again. Alex Evans, and that's right off the
first down.
Right off the guard, straight up the middle.
Evans drives, and that's good for a Roseville first down.
And Roseville will get their first down of the night.
Dom,
Hopefully.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier about the Tigers. Those first 2 plays of the drive are the most important ones. Try and don't get to 3rd down. When you get to 3rd down, that's when you get in trouble because you start to panic.
Right, and don't turn the ball over. Well, they'll run it again, and the Tigers couldn't get any blocking off the left side, and Ponderosa's defense swarms and tackles Evans before he can gain any positive yardage. That'll make it 2nd and 10 from the 43. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And Alves will motion. It's a wide receiver pitch. The ball bounces and goes luckily to the receiver. That could have been another catastrophic turnover for Roseville, but
yeah, that would have been a rough turnover for them. Gained about maybe 6 on that play, if that.
yeah, 5 or 6. Well,
7.
no, it looks about 4.
Yeah, 3rd and 7.
3rd down and 7 at the 43.
So it'll be 3rd and 7
46.
This
from
play
the
right here is
46.
critical to the Tigers. They need to convert.
And CK Catilis, tight end in motion. That's Suspilla, the fullback, that gets the block, and then the ball is handed off. And that play goes for about 3 or 4. That was Evans on the carry.
Tigers will punt here. I'd be shocked if they went for it.
Well, when you're down by 20, I mean, punting isn't going to give you any points, so they are probably going to go for it. They have nothing to lose, but
Timeout Ponderosa. Their 3rd.
Ponderosa will take a timeout before Roseville can get the snap off. And
Dom,
so,
if I was Ponderosa right now, if I was the coach, what would I be planning?
well, I mean, all eyes would be on Evans. And all eyes would be on Evans and Suspilla. Those are the 2 most capable running backs, and Alves is not the most reliable in the passing game. So a trick play definitely could be open for the wide receivers based on film that Ponderosa could have been watching of Roseville. They don't have the most powerful passing game. However, they do have a very potent run offense. So definitely your first look goes to the running backs. And then you have your cornerbacks on alert for any trickery involving the wide receivers and maybe even Alves himself. Alves could be running the ball, and that might be the decoy. However, definitely the first look is to Evans and Suspilla.
I think the first look is to see the wide receivers. I mean, the passing game hasn't been for Alves lately, and not at all in this game, but I wouldn't underestimate their passing game. And look, you see Alves in the shotgun right now.
And they will hand it off to Evans, and Evans just struggling to get that first down. It doesn't look like he did. It looks like he will be stopped a yard short. And Ponderosa gets the stop on 4th down. So the Tigers...
You called it, Dom. They went to Evans.
Yes, they
In my opinion,
did,
I think
and
that was bad play calling by Cunha.
And unfortunately, well, they did not get the first down.
Because if you looked at Ponderosa's offensive line, they stacked the offensive line. So you could have gotten a receiver out in the middle of the field, and you could have gotten a dump pass off. I mean, it was only 4th and 3. You just needed a little dump pass off to get the first down.
It's true, and unfortunately, that's not what Roseville's offensive coordinator called, but nonetheless, Roseville will be stopped short. And again, Henderson throwing deep downfield, and the ball caught again. And just like that, we have Ponderosa's 4th touchdown, not only of this night, but in this quarter. There's 46 seconds left on the clock in the first quarter. And already, the score is 26-0.
This is not looking good for the Tigers at all. This is looking like a nightmare. This is like waking up from this is like a bad dream.
Yes, and unfortunately this is coming off of a 56-7 loss to Whitney last week. And you know, it's hard to rebound from a game like that. However, you would think that senior night and the crowd coming out, there's a good show up of the crowd, and it's Just Curate, the breast cancer awareness night, the pink out, and it's 26-0. You know, there's not there doesn't seem to be a determination, a focus to keep this game close or even win it.
No, I feel like Roseville's just out here I feel like they're just out here because they were forced to be out here. There was a time in especially our sophomore and junior years where, I mean, it was a joy to be out here. You wanted to be out here every week. You wanted to be out here every single Friday night and put on a show for these fans. And Roseville has only given one win to these fans this year, and it was a.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that they want to be out here, but you know, if Roseville were to score on that last drive, or at least drive down the field and make Pondo give the ball back over to them, I would have said that this game could be a lot closer than it is currently. But there comes a certain point, a certain line where once there is a point total that is over that line, when you are down by so many points, the psyche changes. There doesn't seem to be much hope of a comeback anymore. And personally, that point is around 20 to 24 points. And we're at 26 right now, 4 touchdowns.
27, actually. Oh, 26.
26.
26.
And Alves will be under center. And there is a whistle blown pre-snap. The ball was handed off to Cispilla. However, the play will be blown dead.
As we hear Pondo fans over here yelling, "It's 27."
He made the extra point!
Offside, Ponderosa.
And the Ponderosa fans calling for the scoreboard to be changed. Pondo did make the extra point on their last touchdown. That would make it 27, not 26. However, that's what shows on the board. That'll be corrected as soon as possible in the Roseville press box.
That was a really, really good run by Baker.
It was a good run by Baker. That was another jet screen, and the wide receiver jet screen.
First and 18 from the 20.
The clock ticking down in the final moments of the first quarter. 20 seconds left. Roseville will attempt to get a play off. It's first and 18. Some penalties move them back. And more motion. That looks like their game plan, but another handoff to Evans. Evans just pounding through potential tacklers and breaking multiple. But he is dropped down after only gaining a few, and that is the end of the first quarter. Our score after the first quarter, 26 Ponderosa, Roseville 0.
I mean, it's looking really grim right now for the Tigers. It's not looking good right now, Dom. It's not looking good at all.
No, they'll keep fighting. They'll keep playing. This is their last home game, and I don't doubt that at any point they would throw in the towel and just say that they don't want to play this game anymore, and that's not in the spirit of.
I just think they're outmatched. I just think Ponderosa has the weapons and the players that Roseville doesn't. I mean, their quarterback's too mobile for them. He's getting off these passes, and he's connecting with his receivers. And Roseville, they're just run, and it's just not working. Ponderosa's figured it out. If the Tigers want any chance of getting back in this game, they got to switch something up. They got to change something. They got to resort to the passing game.
And again, the negative momentum right at the beginning doesn't help at all. I mean, that changes your entire psyche to the rest of the game.
At the beginning, that defeats your morale. It's like, and they scored 2 touchdowns off of it before you even get to single digits, before you even get to the 9-minute mark. I mean, you saw before we even got to the 9-minute mark.
Absolutely.
It was already 14-0.
Yes, it's definitely hard to wrap your mind around that and focus on what you need to do to execute and perform as a cohesive team. And the Ponderosa fans cheering as finally Roseville's press box changed the 26 to a 27 what the actual score was after Ponderosa did make the extra point in their last touchdown. And so we will start the second quarter. And Alves getting hit right at the end there.
You gotta be careful with those plays, Dom, because especially in football nowadays, you just see quarterbacks throwing it away like it's nothing.
Right.
Intentional grounding is still a penalty.
Well, intentional grounding, and you don't know where you're throwing it accurately.
Exactly.
You could be throwing that right into the hands of a defender, and you'd have no idea.
To me, it's just absurd how quarterbacks just toss the ball away like that. It's like, it could be an interception, you can get intentional grounding.
And Alves drops back. Alves receives pressure, but steps up, and Alves will be dropped again, but he picks up, it looks like, maybe a yard.
Maybe.
And that brings up 4th down from about the 22-yard line. And there will be no reason for the Tigers to go for it on 4th down here. They will punt it away.
They would be crazy to go for it right now. Punt the ball, come back strong on defense, force the Bruins to turn it over, go down the field, get the ball back, go down the field and score. That's what the Tigers' game plan needs to be right now.
Absolutely, and even though it is 27-0, this is football, and a comeback is never out of the question. I can think of a certain Oregon-TCU bowl game just a few years ago, a 34-point differential.
Yeah.
Between TCU and Oregon, and TCU came back to win the game.
Outstanding comeback wins. I mean, just look at Tennessee. There's been countless times where university volunteers have come back from like a 20-point deficit and come back and tied it up and take it to overtime.
And so the ball is snapped to Ponderosa's Henderson. Another deep throw down the sideline. Looks like Ponderosa is just trying to outgun Roseville currently. And that pass down the sideline was to number 1 on Ponderosa, Mitchell, the senior wide receiver.
And I feel right now you just see the Bruins, they're just trying to put salt on the wound. They're just trying to put as many points up on their team. And I mean, if you're able to go down the field and score, why not? I mean, if the roles were reversed, the Tigers would be doing that. And the upside of that is you get to put in players that normally don't get to play a whole lot. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks that the Tigers are down by this much, but I mean, when you give up 2 fumbles in your first 2 times on offense.
Well, and that's a flag. Flag will be thrown on that, even though that was a great run by Henderson, the quarterback. Looked like a quarterback keep, but that's coming back. Unless there was somebody offsides on the Roseville side of the ball, but that looks like either offside, or excuse me, a false start or holding. And that was a false start penalty. And so Ponderosa will be moved back 5 yards. It's 2nd and 15 from the 38-yard line. And that's motion from the running back 44. And another direct handoff to Henderson, the quarterback. And he just stretched out there at the end, but it doesn't look like they will give him the first down. They'll be
about 2nd and 1.
About a yard short, exactly, 2nd and 1. So that was about a 14-yard rush for Henderson.
Where I'm sorry, 3rd and 1. If I was the Tigers, I would stuff the line. I would stuff the line of scrimmage. See, they're not doing it right now. They're going for the blitz, but.
And they do a misdirection handoff straight up the middle as they use a different running back. That was number 2, Aroken, the senior running back, the 6 foot, 175-pound
I mean,
running back.
That's your ideal running back.
Strong safety and free safety.
Tall, lengthy, quick. I mean, it's the package. It's the package deal. But I think that the Tigers on that play, they should have stuffed the line. They should have stuffed the offensive line to stop that run game.
Well, it looks like they did. They were just faked out up the middle. Their linebackers were reading the quarterback and their main running back, but they didn't see the inside handoff. Now 2nd and 10 inside the Tigers' 43-yard line. 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
See the Tigers,
ball snapped to Henderson. Henderson again with the option, and he'll take that straight up the middle. And Henderson looking like their Ponderosa's main offensive producer. He's had those 2 extremely long touchdown throws, and now he's been gashing the Tigers defense with just runs straight up the middle. Just quarterback keeps.
I mean, and that's one of the luxuries of having a mobile quarterback like that. I mean, you can make plays around your quarterback where he runs and get blocks and all that stuff. I mean, it's so nice in football nowadays to have a mobile quarterback.
Absolutely. And Henderson will throw again. That's a sideline pass to the running back. That's number 44, Cheney. 6 foot, 175-pound junior.
Tigers need to stop this right here. If I was them, I would have at least 2 safeties in the backfield. Get that passing game under control.
And 44, Cheney, yet again with a huge running lane. And he bounces that out to the outside for about a 25, 26-yard
That'll be first
gain. And that makes it 1st and goal. And yet again, Ponderosa knocking on the door. Their 5th touchdown already. So Cheney and Henderson, Ponderosa, they just seem to be the only 2 making plays for Ponderosa, but it's enough.
I'll make it 2nd and goal.
And that makes it exactly 2nd and goal. It was number 14, Castellanos, the senior running back. Looks like more of a speed back. It was good for about a 2-yard gain. And it is 2nd and goal. Roseville will switch some personnel. And Alves was playing safety. They'll switch him out and put Dion Jennings in the game. And Ponderosa will score. And that was another quarterback keep from Henderson. Runs just to the outside and just in the corner of the end zone. 33-0, Ponderosa.
Like I said, Dom, salt on the wound. Salt on the wound. They're trying to get up as many as possible. Put this game out of reach quick.
Absolutely, and Ponderosa with the PAT. They put it right through the uprights, and this time there is no delay on adding the extra point on the scoreboard. 34 points for Ponderosa and nothing for Roseville. 6:53 left in the second quarter. And Roseville will get the ball back.
I think it's needless to say, on a more happier note, boys water polo, varsity boys water polo made sections.
Yes, they did, and they'll be competing just this next week. Kale, who are they going up against? Who is their projected opponent?
Well, their projected opponent, well, we won't know until tomorrow. The team has a possibility of getting a home game. However, that home game will be held at Whitney High School, which sounds odd. The CIF is looking to put those section games at schools such as Whitney, Wood Creek, and bigger schools like that to draw out more crowds. Rockland High School, schools with bigger pool decks. So they're projected to play a lower seed team in the first round, and from there it'll get progressively harder. So their first game is on Wednesday. We'll let you know, for those of you who are interested in attending. We will tweet out, or we will put it in our broadcast of where the game will be held and who they will be playing.
Absolutely, and it's exciting to have another team with possible championship hopes, as girls tennis also took a CVC title this season.
Yes, they did.
And Roseville will get a false start penalty. That was 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. That'll move it back to 1st and 15. And again, just doesn't look to be any focus currently.
No, there's no focus at all in this game right now. The Tigers are just struggling to make anything happen right now. Their defense is collapsing. Their offense isn't converting. I mean, at this point, what more can you do? I mean, just take it play by play, slow down the offense, and just get something done.
Roseville players need to focus on one down at a time and just their position rather than the package as a whole. And that run will move the ball a few yards. That'll make it second down. 10 yards to go. So a 5-yard run for Evans. And Alves in the pistol, the handoff to Evans, or the read option, the fake to Evans, and Alves is going to take it. However, another false start penalty will move them back an additional 5 yards, wiping out the 5 that Evans just gained.
I mean, a penalty is a penalty. There's nothing you can do on that. You gotta do your job. You gotta make sure that you're not penalizing your team while doing your job. It doesn't help you. The refs will see that. There's 4 refs on the field. You're not going to get away with anything.
Well, a false start is not something that you try to get away with. That's just simply not knowing the snap count or not remembering the snap count. There's a lot of adrenaline going in a huddle, and it's very easy to have, for lack of a better term, short-term memory loss when listening to the quarterback. There are a lot of different things going through your mind when you are a player in the huddle.
And that's the thing that we've been talking about. The Tigers need to take it one play at a time. Know that when your quarterback calls out a play in the huddle, that's all you should be focusing on, is what's my job on that play? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go for a block? Am I supposed to do a route for a pass? Am I supposed to take the handoff from the quarterback? I mean, they got to take it one play at a time, especially since they're down by this much.
Absolutely, and Roseville will break the huddle. That's 3rd and 15, 5:29 remaining in the second quarter. getting close to half, and Alves will make one of the few throws of the night so far, and that's a great gain. That was a 20-yard pass, maybe a 25-yard pass.
And that's what we were talking about. You could tell they were calm and collective on the field. They slowed down the offense. The offensive line did their job. They blocked. They got blocks, and that's why Alves was able to make that pass.
Exactly.
Great game by the
Tigers. Even
Tigers.
just moving the ball down the field and potentially getting into scoring position does a great thing for the mindset of the Tigers and for this game going forward. And Alves will keep the ball again. Or that wasn't Alves. That was Alex Nicholas. And we saw Alves go out of the game earlier, a little gimpy. The reason they subbed in their secondary safety. So that's been Alex Nicholas calling the plays.
See the quarterback right now?
Exactly, and he's primarily a runner, extremely fast.
Yes, very, very mobile, very mobile.
Evans, stopped by Garrett Estes.
Nicholas, only a junior, leading a prolific JV team from 2016 last year, a 10-0 undefeated CVC champ team. An extremely potent offense. And that was a fake handoff again to Evans, and Nicholas will keep the ball yet again, and he gets another first down.
I mean, Nicholas is very, very mobile. Nicholas is the ideal quarterback because we've seen it. Nicholas can run. He can make handoffs happen. He's a pretty good passer. I mean, we just saw down here he made that 20-yard pass.
Exactly, and considering that the past few weeks Ponderosa has probably gotten more recent film where Alves has been in the game for lots of the snaps, Ponderosa hasn't had much to see on Nicholas.
No,
so this is probably new, something they'll have to adjust to.
And sports is all about adjustment. I mean, if you can't make adjustments in the game, your team's going to struggle. And that's one of the things I think the Tigers have had trouble with this year, is adjusting to the new style of play that they have to go to. They're not used to having these mobile quarterbacks because last year, Mardig was a very pass-heavy quarterback, very pass-heavy. At least from what I saw, he was a very pass-heavy quarterback. He made plays happen. I mean, that's why that team was so good last year.
3:58 remaining in this first half. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. This looks like the furthest that Roseville has been, but yet again they will be moved back with a false start.
And that's like the fourth one this game. 4th false start this game for the Tigers.
And Nicholas under center. Nicholas will hand off to Alex Evans, but not a lot of movement up front, so Evans will get stopped for nothing, maybe a 1-yard gain. And that will be 2nd and 14.
Nope, no yard gain.
No yard gain. It looked like Evans may have been able to stretch the ball out when he got down, but there was just nothing going.
No.
Ponderosa front 7 has been very stout so far, and the only runs have been really quarterback keeps to the outsides. Not much up the middle happening.
Let's go, defense! Woo! Take that ball away!
So Nicholas in the pistol. Nicholas will take the snap, drop back, deliver a throw to the end zone. Not to the end zone, just outside of it, but a shoulder fade. And that ball will bounce off of the pads of one of Ponderosa's defensive backs.
And that was a good look by Nicholas. I mean, the receiver was open. It's just the pass just fell short.
Just a little farther and a little more outside, and that could have been a huge play for Roseville. Roseville breaks the huddle. Had 4 receivers out, including their running backs. Nicholas throws. The running back could not pull in the ball, so that makes it 4th down.
If I was Roseville here, I would have the utmost faith in your kicker, Austin Winter. I mean, he plays soccer. He's got a really strong kick. I'd go for it. 33-yard field goal for a soccer player.
Well, you have to consider also that 33 yards from about where he would be standing, but that also doesn't take into account how far it is from
I mean, 45
there
yards.
To the goal line as well, or to the back of the end zone.
You're totally right. About 40 yards maybe.
So Roseville will go for it on 4th and 14, and that's a pass to Nicholas and just out of the hands. Or excuse me, not a pass to Nicholas. That was a pass to, looks like David Chambers, and Chambers not able to pull that one in.
Yeah, it'll be a turnover on downs.
And that was not David Chambers. That was number 4, Ben Furtick.
And I'm going to say it again, Dom. The Tigers need to get one play at a time. Their game plan right now needs to be get this stop, get the ball back, go down and score, hopefully before halftime. I mean, if you can score before halftime, that'll be a big morale booster.
Definitely. And Henderson dropping back, delivering a pass, and that was safety Carlos Contreras coming in with a huge hit. And from my experience from football last year, Contreras is a very hard hitter, very aggressive. And he made sure that play did not gain any additional yardage. And Henderson takes the snap, drops back. Henderson will keep the ball. Again, a very mobile quarterback, and it looks like he picked up, or may have been a few inches short of a first down.
I think they're going to give it to him. I mean, it looked like he got it. It might be 4th and inches. Or 3rd and inches, sorry. Yeah, it'll be 3rd and inches.
Absolutely.
Tigers need to stuff that line.
So it'll be 3rd and 1. And the pass, excuse me, the snap to Henderson, almost intercepted.
If I was the Tigers, I would not expect them. I would not expect a punt.
That was Dion, number 33. Almost with the interception. He did break up the pass. So that brings up 4th down. It'll be 4th and 1, and Roseville should be stuffing the box. They do, however, just not enough to keep this potent Ponderosa offense from converting on 4th down. And so Ponderosa will get a new set of downs. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line, 1:56 left in the first half.
And Dom, that's what I was saying about stuffing that line, especially on 4th and 1. You need to stuff that. You need to stuff that line. You need to stuff the line of scrimmage with as many guys as you possibly can. Because you don't know.
And Henderson will throw another deep bomb, but just overthrows his receiver. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. And that attempt was to Mitchell, the senior wide receiver. Henderson gets the snap. It's a direct quarterback keep straight up the middle. Good enough for another Ponderosa first down. And rather than putting up explosive plays for touchdowns, Ponderosa seems to be putting a steady drive together.
Yeah, they do. They look like they really know what they're doing. They look calm and collective out there, especially Henderson, the quarterback. It looks like he really knows what he's doing.
And pressure straight up the middle. That was Sispilla from that middle linebacker position. He delivers the hit to Henderson, but Henderson gets the ball out before. That could have been an amazing sack. And that'll move the chains again.
First down, and 10 is the 40. 1 minute, 19 seconds remaining.
He really knows what he's doing out there.
Ponderosa's out of timeout.
He's a playmaker. He's making plays happen. He's running, he's passing, he's handing off. He's making things happen, and the Tigers aren't adjusting to it. That's why the score is 34-0 right now.
And again, the snap to Henderson. Henderson looks a wide open receiver, but the ball is dropped. That could have been another huge play for Ponderosa and another dagger for Roseville. However, they get lucky, and the ball is dropped. That'll make it 2nd and 10. Ponderosa will break the huddle. Henderson with a wide receiver screen. That was to number 1, Mitchell.
Complete.
Good for about 4 yards. Third and 5. Henderson looking back, sees a wide receiver open in the middle, but the ball is low and just away, dropped by Mitchell. And that brings up another 4th down.
You know what, I will say, this is some of the better Tigers defense that I've seen, especially on this drive. Yeah, Ponderosa's been pushing up the field more, but I mean on that last set of downs, Roseville pieced together a pretty good defense right there, allowing them only to get 5 yards. Now it's 4th and 5.
Definitely, and if you've seen a lot of the games this year, Roseville's defense is not bad by any means, and there's been many just mistakes that have made this defense have to overcome things.
Complete for a first down to the 28.
The teams like the kickoff and the offense have done many turnovers, many just mistakes that Tigers defense has had to do in cleanup duty. And Henderson rolling out, throws a deep bomb. That is an amazing catch by number 1, Mitchell. A leaping end zone catch, and Henderson threw a frozen rope. That was one of the better high school throws and catches I've ever seen. It's hard for quarterbacks at this age to make throws like that while running and rounding out like that. Henderson threw an extremely accurate pass just where the receiver could get that.
Uh-oh.
But a bad snap on this extra point attempt, and they won't get the point. However, that doesn't undo the fact that they just scored an incredible touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the culmination of a good offense right there. I mean, you look at it, I mean, Henderson dropped back. He did everything he was supposed to do. He rolled out to his right, found his receiver, and connected with him for a touchdown in the end zone. I mean, that's just something Roseville's not able to do right now. And that's what separates a good team from a not good team, from a bad team, is being able to piece together those key drives and being able to connect with your receivers in the end zone.
Right, and Ponderosa converted 2 4th downs on that drive. And capped it off with that very fundamental looking touchdown pass and catch. And again, the ball, a bad snap, and Ponderosa will have to
all over again.
climb back on top of it. However, the one from before was negated due to a Roseville delay of game penalty, but nonetheless, Ponderosa will not be able to convert their extra point attempt. And so the score, 39 seconds until half. Roseville 0, Ponderosa 40.
And the worst part is, Dom, Roseville, the Tigers kick it off in the second half.
Right, this.
So Bruins will get the ball in the second half. So, I mean, Roseville's got 39 seconds to piece something together.
And Ponderosa with a low kick that bounces a few times. And Roseville will return it for maybe a couple yards, but they'll have decent field position, close to the 40-yard line. First and 10, Tigers. It'll be interesting to see what kind of offense Roseville runs right now. If they opt to just run out the clock with a few run plays, or will take a few shots downfield.
If I was the Tigers, I'd be taking as many shots down the field as possible.
Right, and they'll do an interesting choice, a wide receiver screen. And that was Furtick with the catch. That goes for
5 yards.
Pass complete. Timeout, Road.
Let's go, kick back!
And that makes it 2nd and 7. 25 seconds left until half. And we've seen a lot of scoring, however, not for the Tigers. Everything for Pondo. And if I'm Henderson, Ponderosa's quarterback, I'm taking that last touchdown he just threw, and I'm sending that to every program for college football I can find.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very impressive highlight.
I would too. Coaches will be very impressed with that.
Yeah, it looks like we're ready to continue this drive. And the snap back to Nicholas. Nicholas evades a few tacklers, cuts to the outside, and will get out of bounds. Only about a 1 or 2 yard gain. That'll stop the clock.
Nicholas out of bounds. Second step.
And although that was productive, that's not what you want when you're trying to put up any points at all with seconds remaining.
No.
The 2-minute offense doesn't call for 2-yard quarterback runs, although he did get out of bounds to stop the clock. That only takes seconds off. And C.K. Catillus in motion. Alex Evans in motion. The pitch to Evans. Evans is getting to the outside. Evans gets wrapped around and thrown to the ground. And Evans did not get out of bounds, and the clock will run. And that is all for the first half of play. Ponderosa 40, Roseville 0. We'll take a break for halftime, and we will be back in about 20 minutes with some more action of senior night from Roseville High School
else to share my thoughts,
Ponderosa Bruins versus the
ideas,
Roseville Tigers.
And for her parents who always supported her passion. She loves Mom, Dad, Tyler, and
And welcome back for the second half of tonight's Friday Night Light football game. It's senior night for Roseville High School. And unfortunately, this game has not gone the way that Roseville had hoped. And 40-0 Ponderosa is the current score coming out of halftime. Roseville quarterback Alex Nicholas looked to be putting together some solid movement. Unfortunately, was not able to be converted into points. We hope the Roseville seniors will have enough determination and perseverance to finish their last half of football ever on this Roseville field. And Kale, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe Roseville opted to receive the ball at the beginning, so they will now be kicking off to Ponderosa.
Yeah, they'll be kicking the ball off. I mean, so far this half, it's not been looking good, but I mean, some good things have come out of it. I mean, Alex Nicholas really stepped up in the second quarter. I think he stepped up really big, and I think the Tigers defense really did a good job of containment. I mean, yeah, Ponderosa scored. They scored some points. But I mean, it's football. It's a football game. Teams are going to score. I mean, if you're outmatched, you're outmatched. I don't think the Tigers are outmatched. I just think they're not playing. I just don't think they're fully in the game. I think that if Roseville really pulls it together in the second half, they can win. And I really truly believe that they will pull it together. But it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take everybody on that bench to come together, and they need to be calm and collective on the offense. They need to get those stops on the defense. And if they do that, everything will work out perfectly fine.
Absolutely, and we're looking at a 40-point deficit. You're looking at some extreme miracles happening if they want to get back into this game. And I would definitely agree with you. As you said earlier, Alex Nicholas stepped up and was making some great offensive plays. It looked like Kyle Alves was maybe injured on one of the plays earlier in the first half. He was coming off the field a little gimpy. And Alex Nicholas, the second-string quarterback, the junior, took his place.
And he stepped up big. He stepped up really big. I mean, you could tell in that second half, that second quarter, that Tigers offense, they had a spark. They had a spark. And I was really, really happy to see that those Tigers get the spark.
Definitely, and you always wonder what kind of score we would be looking at if Roseville didn't have those two opening drive turnovers.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they were not committing all of those false start penalties, what kind of score would we have currently?
It would be a completely different ballgame.
Definitely. And the kick is off, and we are away for the second half.
Ooh, good takedown. Good takedown. Good tackle.
Ponderosa returns that for a decent gain. Roseville contains it before it can do too much damage. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 36. And Ponderosa, number 2, gets to the outside. And he is brought down, but a huge gain on the first play. The first offensive play for Ponderosa of the second half. That makes it 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. And Ponderosa does a quick snap, and that was Henderson again. The quarterback keep. He did fumble at the end, but the ball went out of bounds, and Roseville was not able to get the ball back.
Henderson run out of bounds by Greg. 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8.
And that puts the ball at the 10-yard line. 2nd and 10. And Henderson will hand that off to Cheney.
Carries for a 1st down inside.
Cheney gets the 1st down inside the 5. However, no touchdown. And yet again, Ponderosa deep in the red zone, knocking on the door. This could be their 7th touchdown of the night.
Dom, this just shows skill.
Yes, definitely.
It's just a showcase of skill. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, the Tigers defense can't stop anyone, because that's not true. That's not true. The Tigers offense can. We've seen them do it before. It's just that this Ponderosa offense is very skilled. It's very skilled. That's all that needs to be said.
Right. And Ponderosa will look to punch this through. And well, the ball is out. It'll be ruled at the 1-yard line. The line judge declared it dead. And I thought that Ponderosa had gotten in there and had got the touchdown across the plane, but apparently not, and that ball jumped out. And it'll be placed at about the half-yard line. Ponderosa will look to punch this one in yet again. And they're going to be stopped. Roseville's defense, the positive play there. There's some pushing after the play. No flags thrown yet.
I'm surprised.
Once you get to a score like this, it can get a little chippy for sure. And that's about a 2-yard loss.
Come on, line. 4th down and goal from the 1.5.
It'll be 4th and 1. And Roseville could get a huge stop here if they can manage to keep Ponderosa out. However, 4th down for Ponderosa.
The Tigers have done very, very well.
It's true.
Down to the red zone.
They're going to run it again, and Ponderosa is going to get stopped.
Turnover on downs.
It is a turnover on downs, and Ponderosa does not convert. Roseville keeps them out of the end zone, and a great stop by Roseville's defense. That's good positive momentum.
That really is there. That really is.
After the huge pass and run down the sideline earlier in this drive on the first play out of the gate in the second half. Roseville's defense, like you said earlier, Cale, has stopped Ponderosa once again, and even though they've put up 40 points against them, they are capable of doing that.
Yeah. I teams are going to score. You can't stop every drive. It's a known fact. But when Roseville's defense is on, I think when Roseville defense is on, they're one of the better defenses in the league. Now others would oppose that, but I mean, if you look at it, Roseville's got quickness off that line. They have speed off that line, and that speed really plays a role in the sacking of the quarterback and putting pressure on the quarterback.
Absolutely. And speaking of the sacking of the quarterback, the senior number 40, Ethan Gregory, has been looked at by schools such as UTEP, University of Texas El Paso, for possible scholarship and or walk-on opportunities on their football team. And there is talent on this team.
Yeah, there is talent on this
cohesiveness has not been there the entire year.
And every football player on this team has a special talent. It's a matter of figuring out what those talents are and honing those talents for the better of the team. And that's just something that the Tigers, they haven't quite found it yet. They haven't quite found it yet, and that's okay. They'll eventually find it. Maybe not this season, but next season for sure.
And Evans up the middle for a few yards there. And Cale, on your previous point about the talent coming in next year, I definitely agree with you. I think you're going to have a very successful JV team from last year, the 10-0 undefeated CVC championship team, like I mentioned earlier in this live stream. But also this current JV team that is under the varsity this year, they are also, as of their game earlier, a 6-2 JV team, and a 7-2 JV team, and potentially with a win next week against Oakmont, an 8-2 JV team.
Nicholas come down.
Yes, Nicholas dropped for a huge loss. Usually Nicholas able to get to the outside, but not that time. Ponderosa's defense swarmed to the outside. They're starting to key in on his mobile abilities.
And that defender was able to get through. There must have been a miscommunication on the line, a missed block or something. Because on a normal offense, that lane should have been blocked. So yeah, I'm assuming that there was just a miscommunication on a blocker or whatnot. Something that the Tigers will most likely fix.
And Nicholas drops back, another pass attempt. He'll get the ball out, and that is caught. It was a great game. That looks like Baker, number 15. A catch and run down the sidelines. Nobody was covering him. And so Ben Baker will convert and get the first down. And that was a really good throw by Nicholas as well, as he was under pressure getting hit from two different sides. But he gets that pass off and gets the first down.
That's one thing that I think Nicholas does very, very well. He's very good at passing under pressure. We saw in every game that he's come in, there's always been pressure. I mean, and there's going to be pressure at any team you play. But what he does under that pressure is he's calm and collected, and he's able to make those passes. He's able to make the passes that are difficult. On the other hand, Alves is very good under pressure because he's good at getting out of tough situations. He's very good at running, and that's something that Nicholas is working on, and we're seeing him work on it. But it's something that he can improve on.
And that's holding on Roseville. That'll move them back 10 yards. And back to your previous point, Cale, I would agree with you that both of these quarterbacks have the ability to run. It's just how they use them is the difference. Nicholas relies on his legs as something that is a go-to and not something that he uses in desperation. That's something he can rely on. However, Alves has this dimension about him, something he can use in tough situations as an unexpected way to get out of a potential loss, and not something that he always uses. It's like a hat trick. And Nicholas looks like a fake handoff. That might have been a busted play, but Nicholas takes it up the middle for about 7 yards.
And that goes back to my previous point about talents. These quarterbacks are very mobile, and Roseville is very, very lucky to have them. It's been a while since we've had mobile quarterbacks, and I think it's going to be very, very beneficial for the Tigers in the next upcoming years as these quarterbacks come in. I mean, if you utilize mobile, if you look at it, mobile quarterbacks are becoming very, very popular in the sport of football now. If you look at all the college teams, almost all of their quarterbacks are very mobile. I mean, Lamar Jackson and all these quarterbacks they're more mobile now than they ever were in previous years.
Definitely, and to that point, again, Nicholas takes off running, doesn't see any receivers open, and I think we're just seeing a time in football where the quarterback position is evolving. It's not as much just about passing anymore. It is being a part-time running back as well, and you have to be able to make the throws, but also adding a running dimension is a norm now. And it is 3rd and 9 for Roseville. 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Roseville is at the 31-yard line.
Dom, I'm very excited to see how Alex Nicholas will evolve as a quarterback, because right now he's looking very, very good.
And again, Nicholas showing off the arm. And that ball to David Chambers.
That's a first down.
That is a first down. And again, Roseville converts.
I mean, what a beautiful pass there by Alex Nicholas. That was the prime pass that the Tigers were looking for in the first half. I mean, Dom, if you look at it, Roseville's piecing together a very, very prominent drive. They're pushing up the field. They're doing it slowly, but they're pushing up the field. It's something that they haven't been doing all game.
And that is a wide receiver screen to Dion Jennings, number 33. And only gains about a yard. That was stopped very abruptly by Ponderosa's defense. One thing I've noticed tonight is part of Roseville's offensive plan is a lot of wide receiver jet screens. They've been trying to get the ball to the receivers to run it, and that's a lot of motion, whether it be the tight end or the receivers to the outside. They've been trying to do handoffs to their receivers.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Those screens have been a vital part to the Roseville offense. But I think that's because they've made an adjustment. We've seen it in the second half. They've made the adjustment of stacking more people on the line of scrimmage, putting more receivers out. I don't know if you've noticed it, but in the first half, they had one receiver on each side. Now they have one on the right side and 3 on the left. And I think that's partly because they're trying to get more passing involved. They're making that adjustment. They're realizing that the run game isn't as important anymore because Ponderosa's figured it out. So they're moving toward the passing game to try and move down the field faster.
And Nicholas will break the huddle. That's Cispilla behind him at the running back position. Cispilla runs out. Nicholas delivers the shot to Cotillas. And Cotillas with the reception, the senior tight end. And Nicholas, yet again, the great throw. However, Cotillas was not able to get the first down, so it is 4th and 3 from the 48-yard line. 1:06 left in the 3rd quarter. And there will be a timeout taken by Roseville. They're going to decide what they want to do to try and convert this 4th and 2.
Dom, I don't know if you've noticed, but both Allison and Nicholas like to go out of the shotgun. Now, I don't know if it's because it creates more time than going under and going underneath. But I just think it's interesting how they've gone out of the shotgun for more than half the game.
Definitely. That's one of the things that they like to run in this offense. You don't see a lot of quick snap, quick release balls. It's hard to do at the high school level. Giving the time for the quarterback to wind up and deliver the throw to the outside or look for his options is a more viable option.
And if I could make a really quick point, I think one of the reasons why the Roseville run game wasn't really working in the first half was because they were going out of the shotgun. Now, the shotgun is a great position to be in for a quarterback because one, it gives you more time, and two, it allows, if your offensive line blocks well, it gives you have space.
And Nicholas running out again, doesn't see a receiver open. Figures to take his options, but gets nailed. A huge shot delivered by one of Ponderosa's defensive players, and Nicholas slow to get up. He's laying there on the ground. And that's a huge hit. Nicholas is not a very large player. He's
no, not at all.
Only about 5'7" and maybe 150, 160 pounds. So depending on the weight differential there, that was quite a hit to take.
Come on, another player!
So the coaching staff still tending to Nicholas. Very slow to get up. You'd hope at this point in the season that he's okay.
He's still on the ground. He got hit really hard, and it was not lower body either. That was in the chest to neck region, and those injuries, Dom, those are possibly life-threatening.
Paramedic ambulance called for on the field.
And they are calling for the paramedics. That's not what you want to hear. And you hope it's nothing extremely serious. That's
calling for an ambulance on the field.
And Nicholas does not look to be very okay right now. He seems to be in a great deal of pain. Might have been something broken on that hit. And so they will call the ambulance out.
Just sitting here watching this is just, it makes me feel for him. I mean, he's putting together such a good drive for the Tigers, and it's just, to see that happen is just really terrible.
Absolutely.
We wish him all the best. We hope it's nothing serious.
And as we mentioned before, starting quarterback Kyle Alves was already taken out earlier in the game because of an undisclosed injury, so that would leave, for the second time this season, third-string quarterback Joey Margaroni to take over the Roseville offense.
Yeah. I mean, it's never a good feeling when you're having to resort to your third-string quarterback. Because, I mean, we're only in the third quarter. We still have a whole another quarter of football to play. So, I mean, anything can happen. Another hit like that could happen. And say Margaroni goes down, what do you do then? I mean, it's very rare that you see teams go 4 or 5 quarterbacks deep.
Alex Nicholas been down for a long time, and be hoping he can it's not too serious and that he can get up off the field, well, not by himself, but help with the paramedics. And we're back for the rest of this game. A very somber feel on both sides. And Ponderosa will take that handoff. Going off the left side, that goes for about 20 yards. And as you see in the back there, Roseville quarterback Alex Nicholas will be taken off the field on a stretcher. It looks like they were paying some attention to his neck area. He did move his hands and acknowledge the crowd as he left, so he is responsive and moving. And that was a great hit by the Roseville defender. You might see Roseville play with some anger here, as nobody likes it when a teammate of theirs goes down. And that should bring us to what looks like the end of the third quarter.
I mean, Dom, it was a hard hit. But I mean, it was a legal hit.
It was a legal hit, definitely.
It was a legal hit. I'm not going to sit here and say it was an illegal hit, because it was a legal hit.
Freak plays happen in football, and it is a dangerous sport, and you know what you get into when you sign up to play.
It's part of the risks. It's part of football.
Definitely.
And all we can hope for is that Nicholas will be okay.
And so at the end of the third quarter, Ponderosa 40, Roseville 0. And Roseville's defense was able to keep Ponderosa out of the end zone for the entirety of that quarter. Really good showing by the Roseville unit. And Ponderosa.
Ambulance is driving right by us, Tom.
Ambulance will take Nicholas, and we're hoping that he will be okay. So Ponderosa has it 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
I think Roseville's defense can put a stop to this. I really think they can. They stopped them on the 1-yard line.
And Ponderosa has put in their second-string quarterback. It looks like that was a second-string running back as well, number 14. And Ponderosa is in. An 11-yard rush from number 14, Castellanos, the senior. And that makes it 46-0. Ponderosa currently.
I mean, you got to give credit to Ponderosa there. I mean, they put together a really good drive there. And I mean, when you put together a really good drive there, you should score. I mean, any good defense can give up a touchdown.
And an ugly shank of a kick. However, it goes in the uprights, and that makes it 47-0. So Roseville will get the ball back. .22 remaining in the fourth quarter of action. You may start to see some more juniors in for this Roseville team. As they'll get a chance for everybody to play, and especially some of these seniors who haven't really gotten many reps this season finally get to get some on their senior night. And that was Furtick on the return. Gets it outside of the 30-yard line, and that will be 1st and 10 Roseville from the 34.
Dom, I think the key to this drive
Joey Margeroni out to play quarterback.
See, Joey Margeroni is back.
Yes, we'll see Margeroni on his
Snaps.
first drive of this game as he takes over for Alex Nicholas. And Margeroni will hand off to Evans, the running back. And Evans shrugs off some tacklers but falls.
Evans carry.
I think the key to this drive is being able to slowly move up the field. You're not rushed. You have no time. I mean, you are in crunch time, but I mean, the key for the Tigers right now is to just slowly move up the field, take it play by play.
Definitely.
Take it play by play. Good things will come out of it.
And another handoff to Evans. It looks like Roseville won't give Margeroni a lot of chances to show off his arm. And they're taking off a lot of time off the clock on this drive. There's already about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Margeroni is also a mobile quarterback. When he took over for the Tigers against league rival Del Campo, Margeroni had some great runs.
Yes, he did actually. He had very, very good runs. The Tigers, I believe they put up
Joey
21 points in that game.
Margeroni keeps it.
Against Del Campo?
I believe so. I think they put up 21 points.
They didn't. I don't believe they put up any points.
You sure?
I don't think so. But whatever it might be, Margeroni did have some great runs.
You're right. I'm thinking, yeah, they got shut out.
4th and 3.
I'm thinking of the antelope. The antelope.
Ah, yes, the antelope game. And Evans again, only good for maybe 1 or 2 yards, and that brings up 4th down. Tigers unable to convert.
I mean, you have to credit the Tigers' offense on this. It's expected that you're not going to go out there and get the most out of it. I mean, you just lost your player as he just was wheeled off in an ambulance.
Right, and we've mentioned the injuries this year for Roseville have just been insane. I mean, you have, like we've mentioned earlier, starting quarterback Kyle Alves was out earlier in this game, and for the season, tight end Jackson Esparza is out, and again Alex Nicholas, and both Nicholas and Alves, this will be their second time this season getting injured and being out. And not only that, but running back Nick Gorey, who was their second option, who would share snaps with Evans, also sustained a large injury.
A.J. Whitehart carry, taken down by Roseville.
And you know what, Dom? Going back to my point, it's expected that the Tigers, after that very, very horrible thing that happened to Nichols, they're not going to go out and play like they were. I mean, for any team, an experience like that is very, very nerve-wracking. I know. I've seen it too many times, and I've been a part of it too many times to know. And it's just it throws off your mental game, and it throws off your team atmosphere, and it's really, really scary to think that one of your players is going to the hospital with a possible head injury or any serious injury like that.
And so the clock will continuously run as both of these offenses are just doing run plays one after the other. Already about 4-minute strain since the last time we updated the clock. But number 44 is a starter. And Ponderosa will throw to their starting running back, Cheney. And Cheney will take it in for Ponderosa's 8th touchdown of the game. That puts the score at 53-0. And Ponderosa will attempt their extra point.
As I see the clock winding down, I can only just think what these players are thinking. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even want to begin to start thinking about what's going through their mind right now and what they're feeling.
Yes, and it's very painful to know that your senior night, the one that you'll remember, has to end up like this, and a very sad and serious injury to a very close teammate, and a huge deficit like this. It's not what they had hoped for. And so it'll be a low kick. Roseville will take it up the left sideline. And Ben Furtick on the return. He'll be dragged down at about the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Roseville. 2:20 left in the 4th quarter.
I like the Tigers' formation right now.
And another false start penalty on that offensive line. The cadence has been a huge problem for the Tigers tonight, as they have not been able to keep those mistakes from happening.
That's what ultimately has stopped their drives, has been the offsides and the petty penalties that have been called against them. I mean, there's nothing you can do.
Right. And that was Evans on the carry.
Alex Evans.
The clock will continuously run. About a minute left in regulation. That'll make it 2nd and
I believe it looked about
2nd and 9 maybe. Margaroni in the pistol. Hand off to Evans. Evans is going to get hit behind the line and will be dragged down for a loss.
Host of Bruin Packers. Roseville's final game next Friday night against crosstown rival Oakmont.
And as Roseville's announcer just said over the loudspeaker, Roseville will play its last game of the season next week against crosstown rival Oakmont. That game will take place at Oakmont.
Dom, I'm really excited to see that game. I think that game's really evenly matched.
Margaroni will get a throwing attempt downfield, but his receiver either fell or was pushed. And that was a dead ball, so the clock should have stopped, but they will end the game. Final score, Ponderosa 54, Roseville 0. And thank you so much for watching this live stream of Roseville football on this Friday night, senior night for the Roseville Tigers. Thank you so much. And be sure to tune in when we live stream Roseville basketball starting in the winter. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Go a little bit.